Hello guys, Nutnfancy here. Thanks for tuning in. This is a short Nutnfancy project update. And guess who's with me? Do you recognize her? Maybe you do from my shooting test up in Spokane, Washington. That's Mrs. Nutnfancy right there. No kidding. Say hello, Mrs. Nutnfancy.
Hello.
Mrs. Nutnfancy and I have been married. Get ready. This might blow your mind. 21 years. Is that true or false?
Yep.
True statement. She's not really one to be in front of the camera. That's why she's not totally turning around. I'll get her later though. Anyways, the purpose of this video is to thank you. Thanks for the support. Much appreciated, as always. And thanks for worrying about me. Last Nutnfancy project update I did in the hotel, everyone's like, dude, you look haggard, man. You need to get some sleep. Yeah, I need to get some sleep. You got that right. Do I sleep enough every night, hon?
Nope.
Pretty much not. You can say more than no and yes. Everyone's going to say, why don't your wife talk more?
I'm reading.
What is she reading? That's actually the point of this video, and it's your messages. In fact, she got in my mailbox on the Nutnfancy project. She's like, dude, you got to answer these messages. They're like out of control. And I'm like, yeah, you think? I'm trying. But like I say on my channel page, I'm not kidding when I say this. I'm not trying to self-aggrandize myself, but I get so many messages, it's really tough for me to keep up. Especially if I want to keep cranking videos out, whether it's a gun video, knife reviews, especially the adventure videos you see me make. Those take a lot of work to get up in the mountains, go snowshoeing, backpacking, doing a wilderness survival video. That's sometimes a multi-day affair, and for me to free up schedule time to do that's tough. And so that leaves even less time, that's my point, to answer messages. So anyways, I apologize for that. That's just the way it is. Mrs. Nutnfancy's trying to help, but you know, she can't really answer them. I have to answer them, but she'll screen them and read them, say, hey, what are you reading right now, hon? Anything interesting?
Can't say.
For the privacy of the screener, she can't.
The language and can't repeat.
Really? Is it bad?
No, I mean, he's on your side.
Yeah. 99.9% of the messages I get are very supportive of the Nutnfancy project. I don't mean that, again, in an egotistical way. I'm just telling you it the way it is. Some guys are worried and they'll say, oh man, disregard the haters out there. Dudes, I don't even care about the haters. They are such a minuscule part. Generally, some of them were banned from TNP and they're coming back, re-registering, but they're such a minority. Most of them are super awesome, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I got to be careful when I show you a message because I want to respect the emailer's privacy. That's important to me, just like I want to have my privacy respected. And so, this is what this guy's writing. By the way, let's look at the box tonight. By the way, I got camera burning. You see that right there? I don't know what happened to my camera. It burnt in, so I need to fix that. I apologize. That was in my shotgunning videos. I noticed it. I don't know if I pointed the camera at the sun. Bummer. Inbox 1543. Personal messages down to up to 750. We're working as best we can. Anyways, this guy's talking about he digs the Spyderco Centofonte 3. Best knife to carry. Boy, I agree with that. Love that knife. Such a good knife. The Victorinox Cadet. Love that too. Then he bought the Damascus Stealth X gloves. And he digs that. He says they're very awesome. Has enough dexterity to open his knife with. And he talks about the SOG Flash. Love it. Yeah, it's a little bit long for an email. But, hey, you know what? No problem at all. So, what are you reading right now? Well, can you even say?
Yeah, I can. This is some guy, and he talks about his dad's a sheriff, and he watches your videos also. He has a chocolate lab. Everyone mentions our dog. And he has a chocolate lab, not as trained as ours, but...
By the way, I love it that Mrs. Nutnfancy's talking, and I can give it a rest. Keep going, hon. Keep going.
That's all. Everybody, I can't even keep track of how many things people want you, what they want you to review.
I know.
There's too many. I mean, everybody, you got 800 emails, everybody wants you to review something. There's too many things to write down.
Yeah. I used to keep a running list of all the review requests, but honestly, it just went on and on and on. I can't do it anymore. However, when I get a lot of reviews for something, then I keep them in mind. Going back to the tripod. Sorry for filming the floor and my shirt.
We're talking about caliber.
Yeah, what were they saying?
Remember you were saying that you've had a lot of requests for that. So
Oh, I have. Yeah. See, that's a great example of what I'm talking about. A lot of guys are saying, hey man, give me your take on calibers, and I will. I'm going to do a review video, maybe a series on that. Let me turn it right there. And I will do that. But I don't approach anything, let's take calibers, for instance, to throw it up and go, yeah, here's this, here's that. I kind of want to do a little more preparation. And for the caliber reviews, I'm going to do my own shooting into wet phone books. And I had like 20 rounds. I had done this previously with different loads and their performances into wet media, being wet phone books. And you can say, oh, well, that's not the best medium to test rounds. I'm not really getting into that. I want to just use that as an example. But that takes preparation, takes a little field work, so to speak. And then once I have that, then I can kind of show you my opinions on calibers and different loads. Don't want to get on a sidetrack with that, though. But back to Mrs. Nutnfancy. She's helping me trying to answer the emails. Honestly, per day, if I have time and I'm not working, I maybe answer 10 a day. I wish it was more. But that's about all I can do. It doesn't mean I don't want to hear from you. It doesn't mean I don't read them. I sure appreciate all the messages. But again, I'm sorry if I can't get to you. A couple of them, will say things like she just read one. What was the guy saying about my rank?
Oh, he wanted to know, prove that you're a lieutenant colonel.
That's right. He's like, dude, you got to prove it. I mean, a lot of people, and actually, I can kind of see his point. His saying anybody can say anything on the internet, and dude, I totally agree with that. I really do. But at the same time, for me to prove my rank, then I have to prove my unit. I have to reveal to the whole world what unit I'm in, what my specialty is, and like I say on my channel page, there's lots of reasons I'm not willing to do that yet. One of them is if I reveal what my specialty is in the military and my rank, then some people really dig it, and then I'll get more messages talking about that. Hey, how can I do that? That career path really interests me. How can I do it? I might in the future. Probably will. I can pretty much say I probably will. Sometime in the future, I'll let you know. But also other people would see that specialty and go, oh, really? That's all you do? Or that's what you do? Then, they would say, well, you're not qualified to speak to this or that. It's a no-win situation. So I just don't. But take it, Mrs. Nutnfancy will vouch. Am I what I say I am, Mrs. Nutnfancy?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that anymore?
We've been in the military a long time.
Thank you. And we've been stationed several places, correct?
Yes.
Right? Have I been deployed in the military to many locations before?
Many times.
Many times.
Off to war, everything.
You know that's right. Pretty much every major war fought since 1990 I've been a part of. And will continue. Still in, still serving. I'm not out of the military. Not yet. Maybe one day. However, I won't elaborate on that, but like I say again on my channel page, any discerning viewer will say, oh, yeah, he kind of knows what he's talking about. Not that I'll get every detail right. And again, I approach a lot of my reviews, even my survival videos, kind of from my background from my dad and my buddies growing up, and also my military upbringing as well. So some people may have a variance with that and say, well, your military training. I had one guy email me, he goes, your military training, you can't say it was any good. It left a lot to be desired. And, of course I go to his page, see what he's got. No videos. And again, it gets into that whole armchair elitist realm, and that's what I say. If you don't have your own videos on YouTube proving your own expertise, you can't really criticize or shouldn't criticize others. It's a lot of work to put these videos together. We've shot this piece how many times, hon?
10. Too many.
It's a true statement, man. We've shot this piece 10 times. For whatever reason, it was wrong. So far, this one's going well. That's enough. That's what I wanted to say. Anything you want to tell them? You may see more of Nutnfancy. I'd really like to get her out on the range and do some shooting, because I want to get some. And I had a good friend of mine suggest, he's like, you need to show women shooting, talk to that, and I could not agree more. Mrs. Nutnfancy has a fair amount of trigger time. Excuse me. But she's very representative of female shooters in a lot of different ways. In other words, she's not into guns. She doesn't totally get off on it. Do you?
No.
Do you like recoil guns? Like,
No.
you shoot. You don't get off on that? That's kind of cool. Come on in here, tactical doodle. It's my son lurking out in the hall. So you don't like that, man? Why don't you just get up there, that 357, and you don't dig it?
No.
No, she doesn't. And that's pretty representative of female shooters. There's some that can really man up, and they do a good job. I know you guys are out there, and I know I have a lot of subscribers that are just that, and you guys rock. I say carry the biggest caliber you possibly can shoot well. However, some female shooters like the lower recoiling guns and carry the biggest caliber, I'm talking concealed carry here, that you can do so comfortably. But I want to get Mrs. Nutnfancy out there in the tactical shooting clinic and show her shooting, and then show capabilities. And I got to be careful. I don't really want to act like I'm the tactical expert here, but to review an item, whether it's a knife, whether it's a gun, a tactical vest, camouflage clothing, a tent, a backpack, I'm adventure-based, and I say that in my logo. What that means is I actually get out there. I have used this equipment a lot of it I have, and then if I haven't, I do my very best with the limited time I have to test it to the maximum extent possible, so when I roll that into my tabletop review, you might have some more data points to go by. Where are you going?
I had to go finish dinner.
By the way, it's a rare, don't go away yet, it is a rare occasion in the Nutnfancy household when Mrs. Nutnfancy cooks. Am I right? Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is rare. I cook too, but I hate cooking. But I can cook. I'm actually a better cook than she is.
That's true.
I hate it though. Anyways, getting back to my point, I try to use it adventure-based and get out there, and I would like her to get out there because then it will talk to maybe some considerations that female shooters, for instance, would have to use or consider. That's it. Short update. So my points are, thanks for the support. Much appreciated. Thanks for being there. I can't thank you enough. And always, as usual, my apologies to my subscribers not being able to get back to you. It's just us. It's just me mainly, and I'm doing the best I can. Mrs. Nutnfancy's trying to help out. My son's actually going through friend invites. He knows what to look for. He goes to the channel page, see if you're subscribing, gets a flavor of what you're about. If it looks cool, and we're pretty generous, by the way. Friend invite accepted. Thanks a lot. More vids coming. Nutnfancy, working hard for you as best I can. It was funny, my last one, they were like, I think I mentioned this, they're like, dude, you're haggard. But yeah, I'm working hard. I do need to sleep more. See ya. Bye.